This is the third watch that I've got from Nordic Marine Instruments, and one of the major problems I found with this watch is that I don't know how to pronounce its name because I'm trying. It's Sovar, you know what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the watch is actually quite a nice looking watch. It's different, and it did catch me by surprise when I first opened the actual parcel, because some things about this watch I didn't expect. I didn't really like initially, and it's sort of grown on me, but I'm going to share my findings with this watch. I'm going to share what I've experienced throughout the week on the wrist, good, bad and indifferent. As far as quality goes, I really can't fault it. It's right up there. And as far as wearability, again, top marks. So without further ado, let's check out this Nordic Marine Instruments let's check it out. Now, Nordic Marine Instruments actually commissioned me to photograph this watch or to videotape this watch for their website. In fact, here is the promo video. It goes for about a minute. If you don't want to watch it, just skip a minute ahead. I'll put a timestamp of it. It's actually been very good. So I've got no complaints, no qualms, no issues whatsoever in that department. However, there are about 3 niggles which I want to share with you guys, which might take a little bit of getting used to, or even just pointing out the obvious. And diving straight into the specs of the watch, I measure a case diameter of 39mm with a case height of 10.7. That lug to lug is 47.9 with a lug width of 20. Now that crown is a 6.3mm sign screw down crown. The watch offers 100 meters of water resistance, and I measure the total weight on the supplied bracelet sized to my 18cm wrist at exactly 145 grams. And this is where the watch has excelled, on the wrist, because the comfort factor, the footprint, that height has been great, and even that bracelet has been a wonderful experience. So technically speaking, this watch has been really comfortable on the wrist and very easy wear. So in that department, I've got to give this watch a 10 out of 10. Well done. And I think the reason for that comfort is because the case, if you notice, it's a very thin profile, but also that bracelet. You've got a beautiful taper from 20 to 16, but the bracelet seems to be made beautifully. This is a really nice bracelet, guys. I'll give high praise to good bracelets. This is a good bracelet. So as you notice, it drops straight down. You've got quick release end links, beautiful articulations, screw pins, a fully milled swivel, and toolless micro adjustment. And the clasp simply features a push button which allows you to slide it to the appropriate length. There's been no real complaints here for me because the link size as well as the adjustability on that clasp has found a happy medium on my wrist. Now turning my attention to the crystal on this watch, it's a flat sapphire. It features anti-reflective coating on the inner side. They call it Super AR, and honestly it is doing a great job. Being a light colour dial and not having full washout, I think that's saying something about the glass coatings on this piece. And as you can see, it's clear AR. There's no hint of any colour tone in the anti-reflective coating, so that's, again, high praise in that department. Now hiding behind that crystal is one of the heroes of this watch. It's a sandwich dial with a sandblasted finish, very good detail. It features an applied logo as well as a date complication at the 6. And hiding behind that dial is the Miyota 9015 Ultra Thin Premium movement. Around 42 hours power reserve, automatic hand winding hacking. I think using a Miyota for a watch like this was a right choice because that profile of that watch is just superb. Even the execution of the high polished bevels in conjunction with the satinized brush flanks, I think they've done a really decent job here. Now turning my attention to the lume on the watch offers Swiss Superluminova BGW9. As you notice, it's a sandwich dial. The lume seems to be very evenly applied. It's clean, it's clear. For a sports watch, I think it's doing a sufficient job. It's bright and long lasting, so in that department you shouldn't have any issues. Now before I get onto any room for improvement, what's the price? Well, the watch's recommended retail is $549. However, if you get on their website and sign up on their email, you can get their launch price. Now, what's the launch price? I don't even know myself. So that's up to you guys. If you're interested in this watch, sign up, have a look, and you'll see what that launch price is. Now, if it's less than $500, I think that's a good deal. If it's less than that, well, even better, because the finishing, the comfort, the execution of this watch is actually very good. Now, it's not a perfect watch. I did say that there's room for improvement, and I'm going to share that with you guys right now. And the first area that I noticed on this watch, if you notice the date wheel, it's color matched. I like that. I like what they've done there at the 6 o'clock. However, be aware that in certain lighting scenarios, you might struggle to read double digits, as it is a little bit tight in that opening, but also the contrast difference between the blue and the black font is not that great. And speaking of contrast, this is my second gripe of the watch. Being a sandwich dial, you notice that the indices, the cutouts, they're all in white. I've got a light blue dial here with white indices. So the contrast between those was one of the things that surprised me when I opened the parcel. I thought, it really needs a little bit more contrast for me. Now, throughout the week it's been a learning curve, having to adjust to that. I'm used to watches that offer more definitive markers here. So that's an observation, and honestly, it's a subjective one. To some people that might not be an issue. For me, I think it maybe could have benefited from outlined markers. Now, in saying that, there's also some different colorways. The model that they sent me to review is this light blue. It's lovely to look at. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check out their other colorways if any of these watches interest you. Now, another observation that I found with the watch is those spring bars. As you can see, they're quick release spring bars and they do hang straight down. Now, I've felt them on the wrist. They've not been harsh or annoying, but they're there. And it's been a very similar experience which I recently had with Jody and Stephen's watch, the Erebus Ascent. And for me, I've got a very flat wrist. I've got 60 millimeters from here to here, but it's flat. So the spring bars, they touch for me. Other people might have a slightly more curved wrist. So this phenomena for me, it affects me. Other people with a slightly more curved wrist, these spring bars would not affect them because their wrist usually goes straight down. Mine goes flat, if that makes sense. Something that I feel in usage, others might not. But put all the gripes or the room for improvement aside, this watch has been very good. The finishing, the execution, that crown, everything just feels really premium on this. And it's hard to explain that unless you've got it in the hand. Now, I've got this in the hand. It is really well built, really well finished. The crown knurling and its functionality has been superb. The latch down experience has been superb. Even though those markers are low contrast, there's always different colorways to choose from. And that's really only been my major gripe on this watch, because the rest of it, I think they've done really well. So hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think of this brand new offering from Nordic Marine Instruments. The unpronounceable name for me, but it is a lovely piece nonetheless. And what I come away with after experiencing this watch on the wrist for a week, there's a couple of words. Number one is comfort and also premium feel. So it is extremely wearable, extremely usable, and sometimes a watch looks good, but just doesn't wear well. This looks good and it wears well. So again, in that department, top marks. This is the third watch that I've handled from Mick and Travis, and it's been exceptional in its finish, its quality, execution, its feel. I think the price at $549 is right where it should be. If it's any cheaper on their launch, well, that's a bonus. Thanks again for watching. Be well, be safe. If you've made it all the way to the end, again, a big thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.